Is it possible that we as humans are just one of the many species of animals? Even if we have long forgotten it as we struggle for our own individual survival among our own species. Curiosity and the human desire to understand our environment and to manipulate it have motivated humanity's development of science, philosophy, mythology, religion, anthropology, and numerous other fields of knowledge. My name is Benjamin Eicher. I'm from Switzerland, and I am a very lucky filmmaker. A few years ago, we were on assignment from Universal. The film we were shooting led us into the fascinating world of the Maasai Mara in Kenya, Africa. Anthony, the Massai Warrior, led us to the best places to film its amazing inhabitants. It was a playground for filmmakers. Filming animals means learning to wait silently, listening to the sounds of the wildlife and being a part of nature. Anthony then led me to his village. We happily sat down to celebrate close to the fire. The village eldest stared at the flickering flames. He kept quiet. That's what the Maasai preferred to do. Then he broke the silence and asked Anthony to translate. "Benjamin, everybody likes you. They laugh with you." He kept silent. "I will laugh less and less if we die out." He remained silent for a long time. Can you film our life as it is today before it no longer exists? I was chosen at 16 to become a Maasai warrior. Do you want to become a Maasai warrior? Now, I kept silent. He had actually invited me to become a Maasai warrior and make a film about this initiation. As far as I know, there hasn't been a white man ever allowed to do this. I'm filled with gratitude and apprehension. The Maasai Mara is located in central and southern Kenya and northern Tanzania in the Great Lakes region, covering all of the Great Rift Valley. I will live with the Maasai for 1 month. I will have to sleep in the bush and participate in their traditions. I will wear their clothes, learn their dances, learn to hunt for food, and learn to survive as they do in the bush. At this point, I know very little about their beliefs and heritage. Who are their gods? What messages do they relay in their dance? What does it take to survive in the wild with only a knife and a spear? The rules for becoming a Maasai warrior are not written down. My journey begins. Here's the last stop before civilization. Now we go shopping. What did I say? The last station before civilization? The supermarket is the symbol of modern civilization.
He's not allowed to film. Okay, don't worry. So we have a lot of nice things. You can put it here inside.
We can see lots of garbage spread around. There are domesticated animals. We are driving on tarred roads. I knew from my last trip here exactly where we were going. But yet this time, everything seems different. My initiation has begun. I'm looking at this place through a different set of eyes. We are passing the river of time. The space we are entering now is the habitat of proboscideans that have lived here for 60 million years. They were the predecessors of African elephants, which now represent the continent.
I'm so happy to introduce you to the animal of the Maasai Mara. My name is Anthony Tira. I'm one of the directors of Matira Bushka Maasai Mara, and I born here, so I'm a resident in the Mara.
The Masai Mara is the northern part of the Serengeti and is world famous for the largest animal migration, the Great Wildebeest Hike. Every year, 1 million animals come on a huge animal hike. They're moving from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara. World famous are also the river crossings where crocodiles wait for the animals. For half of the year, one side of the river is fertile and green, and the other half of the year, the other side becomes fertile. Therefore, the animals go on migrations, always following the food. The Mara River cuts through the entire area. The wildebeests must pass through this raging river. There, the crocodiles wait for the animals to eat them. 10,000 of them are gathering outside the river. Then they all run across together at once. Luckily for them, only a few of them get eaten by the crocodiles. This is my new family. The first one's name is Olebolo. The next one is Embo. Then there is Bala. His name is Kutio. 4 Massai warriors. My schooling begins. They obviously have no problem making me dance with them. I am in pretty good physical shape, but I can't dance. The Maasai are very good at jumping. It will be fun to try to keep up with them. My cameraman wanted to take a picture of all of us for social media. He asked them very sincerely if he could take a picture. I was wondering why he was asking. Then he explained to me that the Maasai might think their soul was being stolen while being photographed. But they seemed as fascinated with us and our camera technology as we were with them and their dancing traditions.
This is. Look at the camera, can look in between.
Yeah, and then I help you to open.
Yes.
I let open, Jonathan. And then this one is the tongue.
Oh. Aye. Big one.
Yeah.
But if I would be a medicine man,
Yeah.
I would use it like this.
A medicine man.
This looks scary.
Now witchcraft.
Yes, witchcraft. This is witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like this. Witchcraft. Like this.
Warriors, they go, they risk their life to take the cows from other tribes.
Cows belong to warriors, yes?
And the warriors believe
Yes.
that these cows belong to them.
Yes.
The Maasai believe that all cows in the world belong to them. Timo shows them pictures of some cows he has back in Switzerland. I understand that cows are sacred to them, but I wouldn't have thought that our cows thousands of miles away belong to them too.
The warriors are saying that they are planning to go to bring their cows back because they are saying that the cows belong to them, and they believe that they've stolen those cows. So they are looking for the direction to go back there.
Yes. Should we bring them by airplane or by helicopter, or what is the best idea?
I'll ask them how they will pick up our cows.
The elephant ducks.
Yes. We can make tea out of this, yes?
Yeah, elephant ducks are very useful.
Yes.
Because you see the way they are rough.
Yes.
The elephants used to feed on the trees at night.
Yes.
And during the daytime, you can easily find them outside of the field.
Yes.
Yeah? They eat the grass during the daytime.
Yes.
And in the bushes, they feed the very bitter trees, which are actually the medicines.
Yes.
So once you boil these ones,
yes,
when you drink 1 cup of this,
yes,
you'll get very healthy.
So it's a tea or what?
I found it hard to accept that none of the 4 warriors had ever seen a smartphone. Alabala didn't know how to open a Coke bottle. Ambab had no idea what a movie was. He has never seen a television. When I was young, there were no smartphones either. But there were rocks. Like children, we played with stones. I was suddenly a child again.
Also, ich bin jetzt hier in einem...
I am here in the footprint of elephants now. Here you can see how deep he sinks into the ground. With my body weight, nothing happens.
Wenn ich das hier mal versuche, da passiert mit meinem Gewicht gar nichts.
I admired the playful freedom of the young Maasai. They started using English words. After a short time, they took our camera in their hands. They tried to film like us. I tried to dance like them. It wasn't about dancing or filming at all anymore. It was about us. It was about the initiation. The most striking part of the warrior culture is the clothing. The red of the dresses and body painting look magical. A snake that does not shed its skin will die. If I am to survive as a warrior, then I too must shed myself of this exterior. Dressed in my city clothes, I did not belong to the warriors yet.
No? They don't like alcohol?
They don't like
Never?
They don't like
Never.
According
Only as warrior or never?
According to the tradition of
Yes.
Maasai, the warriors will never take alcohol.
We'll never take alcohol.
They are not accepted to take any alcohol.
So I also not allowed to drink alcohol, yes?
They hung jewelry around my neck. I had never worn jewelry before. Even that I wore a skirt did not surprise me anymore, despite the spear and weapons.
They give you this. Yeah?
Yes.
This one is for hitting.
Yes.
And this one, that one is for
throwing.
So once you take this and the spear,
Yes.
because they are going to give you a spear,
Like this?
yeah, it will
Yes.
it will look very beautiful.
Yes. And this I take where?
Yeah.
Like this.
And this one you hold.
This one I hold.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one I take like this?
Yeah. So now they are really you are now look an warrior, and now you are together with them the way they are saying, and you are now one company. Yeah.
Also was ein schönes Gefühl ist, man merkt
It's a nice
sofort, dass
feeling.
man
You immediately notice that when everyone wears common clothes, you become a team.
man fühlt sich sofort Teil von dem Universum.
Yeah.
I had imagined the old sage would introduce me to the secrets of tribal life. He shook his stones. He read the constellation. What will he tell me?
How did you see this?
He sang for me.
You found yourself.
He blessed me, and then he spoke his words. Want me to tell you? He wanted a beer. I understood he belonged to the other world like I did. We did not meet in magic, not in the idea of a completely different culture, but in reality.
So, bin gerade aufgestanden.
I have just awoken in my tent.
Schon vorher angekündigt habe.
It had been decided that I will grow into the Maasai life in small stages.
Leben zu
The Maasai warriors are sleeping out in the bush, and they don't have a tent.
Also das hier ist ein Luxus.
During the night, I moved from the bed to the floor.
Bin vom Bett
Sleeping on the floor was not difficult,
und habe heute Nacht auf dem
but I did wake up in the middle of the night because it was very cold.
Last night, in the evening,
Yes.
dinner time,
Yes.
the lion, they were actually fighting down on the stream here, about 200 meters away.
I heard them, yes.
And
I heard them all night. Some of our team, they were very scared.
and these guys, they're fighting for the hippo, a
Yes.
dead hippo.
For the hippo.
Yeah.
Hey! Good morning. Did you sleep well? So, ich mische hier gerade die
Now I am mixing the rock flour, orca, with this fat from cows. This mixture creates the basis for the red body coloring.
Grundlage für die Körperfarbe, die jeden Morgen
The Maasai apply this every day right on top of the previous application.
gar nicht. Wenn gebaut,
They do not usually wash off any old paint first.
aber oft lassen sie es auch einfach auf dem Körper drauf und es wird dann einfach.
The red mix we made together looked rather scary. It serves as a good instrument for a Maasai to strike fear into another warrior. But it also has very practical reasons. On the one hand, the color protects against the sun, and on the other hand, the odor is a repellent for mosquitoes and flies. Over the years, the lions have learned that these red people are a danger to them, so the lions will run away when they see a Maasai. Once everyone has completed their body painting, we have become a group. Ebmo carries a mirror on his right arm. All Maasai warriors carry a mirror with them. It is the only object from the modern world they own. It is often said that civilization began with the mirror image, with the ability to take on oneself.
Wo ist denn Vasili? Vasili, komm mal.
To my surprise, I found out that the Maasai warriors prefer play over battle. They especially enjoy playing with each other and just watching themselves.
Hier ist von einem Hippo.
Here is the skull of a hippopotamus. That's what their teeth look like. Is this ivory? We are not allowed to take it.
Wie heißt Elfenbein in English? Is this like ivory or?
Yeah, it's like an ivory. You are not allowed to take it.
Not allowed to take it, yes?
I had realized I was holding ivory. Today, the Maasai no longer hunt animals to obtain ivory. They protect wild animals. They're warriors, not hunters. They don't eat wild animals. For the flesh on which they live comes exclusively from herds that make up all their possessions, and the order of the cows is the foundation of their lives.
You are saying that those ones, like the ones that you are using for cleaning the hands, they don't put the meat.
I just put
But
it inside.
they cut down, like the way that they were doing there,
Yes,
to flush up their meat.
yes.
And actually, there are those ones that they are very useful. When they boil the meat,
Yes,
they actually put into the soup
Yes.
so that they can drink.
that they can drink. A little bit spicy. So this we do together. This we do together with meat. Try. It is sweet. Don't like it? So you can try them. This is for crazy people. Tell them. This is for crazy people. So it's very hot, very hot. Very hot, hot. But it's very hot. Strong. A secret. Now we tell them a secret. It burns in the mouth and it burns when it comes out.
Second time.
The initiation into ketchup culture was not successful.
Also schmeckt sehr, sehr lecker.
Well, the meat is very tasty.
Schmeckt eigentlich wie wenn es bei uns gut geräuchert wäre. Die machen das nicht zu durch.
It tastes like a well-smoked steak, medium.
Medium, nicht medium rare, aber medium.
It's good.
Und echt gut. Von den Spielen, die gerne
One of their most popular games is the game of sneaking up on giraffes. First, everyone has to guess when the giraffes will run away. And then, the one who placed the line closest to the giraffes must sneak up to his point. What do warriors do all day? They're playing. There is no war. They play in nature and they play with nature. they play with animals and they play with the effect they have on them. Each group makes a guess at which direction they think the giraffes will take to escape. This is what they're trying to influence. There's no war, yet it's hard to survive in an area with thousands of wild animals. Giraffes are not dangerous to humans, but the water buffalo, the rhinoceros, and the elephant or the hippo can kill any Maasai. It is vital for the Maasai to keep the right distance from wildlife.
Look over there. There are the giraffes. Can you tell me something about the giraffes?
With the giraffes, they learn to estimate a safe distance in a playful way. We imagine the Maasai as hunters, but they don't hunt wild animals. Instead, they chase them away. This time he won. Is it possible that the king of animals is anything but a beast? It's like this. Lions are just big cats. As a child, I learned that lions are the most dangerous animals in Africa. In school, I learned about kings who behaved like lions and adorned themselves with lions' manes. Later, as a filmmaker, I was amazed by the king of lions, who is supposed to exercise supreme power over all animals, as a good lion or as an evil lion. With the Maasai, I was allowed to learn to live with lions. It is true that a male Maasai once acquired his adult status by killing a lion. Now he becomes a recognized tribal member through his art of keeping the lions from feeding on the cattle of his tribe. It seems that the lions and the Maasai have learned from each other how to handle their own power. Lionesses prefer to snooze in the pack and watch the boys play. They decide when a male lion gets access and is allowed to mate with them. He must wait. Then he has to mate with them every 15 minutes for about 30 seconds over 2 days. All females in a pack then take care of their offspring. They even hunt together. It becomes dangerous only if a new lover defeats the old one. When this happens, it often kills the boys in order to make room for its own offspring. Does the red color give me superpowers? At first, you get a fright when a full-grown lion shows up, but then you realize it is the lion who is more frightened. After he runs away, the feeling is sublime. At one point, we saw a lion hunting a cow. It is not very usual because normally the cows are protected by humans and the lions are afraid of humans. But in this case, there was a cow all alone that they had forgotten in the marrow. It was easy for the lion to hunt this little cow. The Maasai were very angry about this lion. I could feel it. So they told me, "Come on, let's go over there and chase the lion." I was afraid. I was like, "Hey, there's a lion, let's maybe not chase it. Let him eat the cow." And they said, "No, no, no." We started running, and the lion ran away. I thought to myself, you protected the cow and me and everything around. It was running away. I was not sure what we should do with the cow, if we should leave it there or bring it to the owner or any other possibility. Then they had an idea. They told me we can poison this cow and then the lion will come back. The lion would then eat the carcass and then he will die. Then we will not have the problem again. And we were speaking together about this situation and we found out that poisoning is maybe not a good idea. Anthony explains why.
They feed a lot of people around.
Yes?
Because of tourism.
Yes.
Don't poison this cow.
Yes.
And don't kill this lion.
Yes.
Because you still have many cows.
Yeah.
Only one cow was gone.
Yes. What would happen if we have poisoned this cow? What could be the side effects of this?
The effect of this poisoning, if you could poison this cow, they would kill more than one lion.
Why?
Because the poison is so bad.
Okay.
especially for the animal that they feed on meat.
Yes.
Because when they eat, they go so fast to the system, the blood system.
Yes.
This person will go so fast.
Yes.
And once you kill like one lion,
Yes.
the vultures,
Yes.
that they come and eat that cow, and they eat that lion, they will die all. And the hyena
Yes.
that will come and eat the same carcass
Yes.
that it was poisoned,
Yes.
they will die. And this chain will continue for a month.
Okay, but why are vultures and hyenas necessary for the Mara? Nobody likes them. Do anybody like them?
These guys actually, they had a bad reputation,
Yes.
especially the vultures.
Yes.
Because when people they see when they are feeding on a carcass,
Yes.
jumping up and down, and fighting each other,
Yes.
eating a dead animal,
Yeah.
people they think, oh, this bad animal.
Yes.
But I tell you,
Yes.
these birds, the vultures, they are so important because once they get a carcass
Mm-hmm.
that this animal was dead
Mm-hmm.
in a natural death or by the disease
Mm-hmm.
like rabies
Ah.
or anthrax, very bad diseases
Yes.
that they can kill human.
Yes.
They are the only birds can eat this animal.
Ah.
It's
How many vultures still existing in percent from 10 years ago and now?
20 years ago
Yes.
is about 97%
97% died.
died.
So there's only 3% left.
Yeah,
So they are like
nothing.
massive endangered species, yes?
Yeah.
We were on our way to a river to view the Nile horses, and we found a poacher trap. It was well hidden and almost invisible. There is not only the problem of poisoning in the Masai Mara, there is also the problem of poaching. No Maasai ever poaches. They only eat the meat of the herds from their own cattle. The Maasai said they have respect for the poachers themselves. They are often equipped with good weapons. This poacher seems to be alone on the hunt. I'm sure it wasn't a Maasai because the Maasai do not eat the wild
When
animals.
you try to run fast, then the trap will get it inside of the meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Es werden Nashörner gejagt.
Elephants and especially rhinos are being hunted. These traps are sent to hunt these protected animals. That's what rangers are here for. I want us to take the trap to the rangers and talk to them about the problem.
Let's protect some animals.
I believe that the Maasai would have easily tracked down and killed the poachers. Europeans have introduced the ranger system and their sense of justice. As I am a European, I thought it would be right to take the trap to the rangers. Reluctantly, the Maasai followed me. In Asia and the Middle East, there is still a great demand for the horn. I have heard that in the north of Yemen, the handles of some daggers are made from these nasal bones. In East Asia, they are used as a component of traditional medicine. In powdered form, horn flower is used as a medicine against fever and pain. The frequently accepted use as an aphrodisiac is not historically guaranteed. However, the market is flourishing, and these amazing animals are threatened with extinction. To date, up to $65,000 per kilo was offered on the black market.
today we wanted to go to the river, and we went to a little path, and there the Maasai, they found a trap. And we were discussing, is this normal, is this not normal? And they say, no, these are men who want to hunt animals, wildlife animals. And they say it will be not a Maasai, because Maasai don't eat wildlife animals. And then I was asking, what should we do? And they say, we should find the ranger and bring this. Can you explain him where we found this?
Okay. Yes, be able to actually work together and ensure that our conservation is successfully in the Mara. Thank you very much.
Anthony, I heard that your boy wants to become a ranger, and now we learned it's a very, very, very important job, but it's also a dangerous job. So if you met somebody with a gun, he have to use his gun. Do you like that your boy want to do this job?
Yes, because the rangers actually, their role is to protect the wildlife.
Good to hear the rangers are working effectively. As a result, there seems to be a slight recovery of some species of rhinos. If it is true that today there are about 20,000 white rhinos and over 5,000 black rhinos living in Africa again, then the populations would have almost doubled since 1995. In South Africa, a large proportion of rhinos live in fenced-in and monitored reserves. In Kenya, too, there are guarded areas for rhinos. Rangers are now trying to relocate entire groups or even individual animals. By injecting anti-parasitic substances into the horns, they not only protect the endangered animals from disease, but also make the horns unusable for human consumption. The horn meal of these inoculated animals produces a nausea that also makes it unusable for traditional Chinese medicine. We only have one world. If we destroy this world because of material things, what remains? That's just not right. We all have to learn how to deal with our nature. Rangers are very important to protection and preservation of nature here.
For me, it was important that we show that it's living here is a mixture between cultural life, protection, saving nature.
That's Malaika. If we were in Hollywood and not here in the Mara, Malaika would be a movie star. The German filmmaker Mato Barfus documented her and her cubs in a production that took 3 years to complete. Here in the Mara, Malaika has become so comfortable and trustful of humans that she has started to jump on the car roofs of tourists since she is protected and guarded by rangers. I love and admire cheetahs. In South Africa, one can go for a walk with domesticated cheetahs.
All the cheetahs having little kids, or only this one?
No,
in this area here.
It's the only one there.
The only one here in this area. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you protect them, the babies, and how you can do that?
We just look after them so that they will not be disturbed. Then we monitor the movement in case they move.
The teeth, that's the tradition, yeah. One teeth outside. That's a tradition. Two.
Yeah.
Ah, you lose two.
Yeah.
In which age you lost them?
Hey, very young.
Very young.
Very young. Cannot even remember.
Okay. Ah, really? Yeah. And then you get and it's a sign of beautifulness.
Yeah. Are we not beautiful?
Hmm?
We look beautiful without two.
You look beautiful, yeah.
We will focus on how javelin throwing works and how to shoot with bow and arrow. Martin is a professional archer in Germany, so I am very curious how he will do. Warriors have weapons. The Maasai warriors always carry a spear, a dagger, and sometimes even a bow and arrow. That excites us and makes us want to play along too.
Now is a way of tactics.
Yes.
So the way now they are shooting, they do the same as what he was doing.
Yes.
They put the arrow at the right of the shield.
Left side.
Yeah, at the left.
Yes.
And then, now he used 2 fingers.
Yes.
He used 2 fingers.
Yes.
And strength.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Finden doch die Pfeile nie wieder, oder?
It's not as much as what we were targeting.
Yes, but he was,
Because we are targeting them.
yes, but it was good. Milli Vanilli. It's a tragedy for me to see the dream is over.
So, Timo, I think I'll win against you and lose against the rest. What I liked about the weapons exercise is that you really notice that the Maasai are a team. They have been together for so long that you can really feel how much they belong together. They're like a unit. One of their secrets is that they always sing together, which creates a common rhythm. You can feel their bond and friendship, and it's really beautiful. The Maasai originate from southern Sudan and the Nile Delta. As semi-nomads, they migrated to the Mara about 500 years ago. They were really warriors then, dangerous for caravans, for other tribes, and later for the German and English colonial intruders. These days, they only kill for their cows. They believe that all the cattle on earth was received from their only god, Ngai. A Maasai's dream is to become a warrior. When they reach the age of 10, they can be chosen by the magician who comes to the village to become a Moran, a Maasai warrior. Once a Maasai has become a Moran, he lives outside of the village in symbiosis with nature. When the Maasai get up in the morning, they like to fight. It's like some kind of wrestling. They will now give us a demonstration.
Oh, die würden nie aufhören, wenn wir nicht sagen Schluss. Stop! Thank you! Nachdem die Maasai
After the Maasai have fought, they will take a rest for a while. Then the Maasai have their own mediation to resolve conflict. Let's take a look now.
So, ist herumgelaufen und hat jeden einmal an die Schulter getappt, die erstmal wieder runterzuziehen.
The eldest one has to touch everyone by the shoulder one at a time. Everybody has to shake hands with each other. The oldest one stays there and observes until everyone has really shaken hands.
Die Maasai waren noch viel besser. Die Maasai waren noch viel besser. Dann sind wir Bogenschießen gegangen. Dann sind wir Bogenschießen gegangen. Da hab ich mich besser angestellt. Ein Schuss war gleich ein Treffer. Ein Schuss war gleich ein Treffer. Ein Schuss war gleich ein Treffer.
Everything lives in rhythm. Everything breathes. The Maasai told me the hippos are special animals to them. Wherever we found their exposed skeletons, they drummed on them rhythmically. At dusk, they watched the hippos at the river. The rhythm of these colossi is incredible. They dive up and down all day long, and when they yawn, it is a scream. If one animal moves, even just a little, all of the others resonate and the water gets rough. At nightfall, they walk ashore with a strange elegance.
Yeah. Okay, we are here in between Talek and Eicher.
The junction.
The junction, yes.
The junction of Talek and Intiajitia.
Okay, we are here in the junction of Talek and Eicher. I can't.
And
Intiajitia. Okay, so we was walking here.
Or Olarorok, let's say.
Larok. Okay.
Olarorok. Olare Orok.
Olare Orok. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're here on the Olare Orok River. We was just passing by and we saw some hippos. They immediately wanted to sit with me here and sing a song. So I wanted to ask, are the hippos special animals for the Maasai, or are they just ordinary like the other? So they're special? Yeah, they're different.
In the water, hippos look like fat young princesses huddling around each other. They never separate, and they croak like frogs. On land, hippos are even more dangerous than elephants, rhinos, and water buffalo. When they are ashore, they run along their path and push everything that gets in the way like a bulldozer. No human or animal would have a chance of survival. Why are the hippopotami of the Maasai so highly regarded? Is it because they are so dangerous on land? Oh no, on the contrary. Since ancient times, hippos have been worshipped in Africa because they give birth in water. They are the guardians of the life that comes out of the water.
In Switzerland we say fire is telling stories. We look into the fire and fire tells us stories. Yeah.
Bamar, woi, Eicher, Bamar, woi, Eicher, ala, Eicher, Bamar, Eicher lah ya raya mege Eicher, ala, Eicher deh, Eicher lamar, Eicher deh awi, Eicher deh ya mege nyo, Eicher nyo mege nyo, Eicher, tangguh, Eicher deh. Runyu dia megenyo. Aray nyo deh. Nyo megenyo aray. Nyo. Nyo dia ra megenyo.
It's early.
Nyo.
It's very early.
Yes, nyo. Tangko nyo deh. Nyo megenyo le bang kaya nyo mana lala be ngori anda. Nyo. Amran nyo de nyo. Runyu. Aray. Abi anda berasi ra mana lala deh. Lo berero. Nyo dia ro.
You sleep good?
Nyo da berero.
You know what? He's snoring all night.
Lo berero. Lo berado
Is he always snoring?
Eicher.
In my ear here.
Eicher. Yes.
Always?
Yes. Eicher. Anda berasi abi Eicher ko mana lala deh.
War eine sehr unruhige Nacht. Der eine schnarcht wie die.
Well, that was a very restless night. One of them snored all night. I had no fear of the wild lions, but I was afraid of his snoring. When we arose and got prepared for the day, one Maasai told me they were very hungry. The translator then made it very clear to me that the Maasai were thinking I could buy food. I explained that I don't have money and asked them how they normally get food. They laughed at me for that. The Maasai said we would do it the same way we always do. We're going to steal a goat.
What happens if you do something bad in this life? Maybe steal or maybe kill someone. What happens?
It says a Maasai warrior, when you're a warrior, you go for the cattle raid from other tribe. And when you are a Moran, you have to kill people to take their cows.
We set out to steal a goat or a sheep. Warriors aren't allowed to steal either, but it's still part of the food supply. I was curious what they would do and wondered why they did not eat wild animals. The table would be richly set with the excellent meat of antelopes. Rather than take the jeep on our journey, I wanted to walk like a Maasai. The Maasai walk for hours, days, and weeks. They walk through the savannah without a goal. But today we did have a goal, a village. Walking was wonderful. We roamed with the most beautiful animals. A pair of leopards had been following us from a safe distance for quite some time. Zebras and giraffes grazed peacefully in the savannah. One zebra grazed less peacefully than others. His right flank was torn. It had tried to close its wound with clay. The Maasai tried to frighten me by saying the wound could have been caused by a nearby leopard. We carried on. But now I was glad that my armed brothers were with me. A confused baboon sat apathetically in the bushes. A leopard had taken both his eyes, and that's when we saw him. The lurking hunter watched us from his high seat. That's what the leopards do. They watch for weak prey. I asked the translator to stop the march, and we drove the rest of the way safely in our Jeep. We see the village now. Couldn't we just steal one of the goats and run away with it? Oh no. For the Maasai, the goats and sheep in the immediate vicinity of the village are sacred. They're permanently guarded. We first have to show up in the village, being followed by welcoming ceremonies. We were introduced to the beautiful women and entertained by the men. When the villagers are distracted, we will find an opportunity to sneak away. Then we are going to find and steal a goat. We have arrived at the Maasai village, and they have been waiting for us outside and gave us a very warm welcome. Tonight, I will ask some of these villagers if they are going to become, or if they already are, a Maasai warrior. The eldest villager even came out to greet us. They have invited us to come into their homes and meet their wives as well. With the use of braided hair, brightly colored jewelry, and body paint, the Maasai present themselves much differently than those of us living in the industrialized world. The biggest difference, however, lies in the gaze. The Maasai have a strictly guided principle for gazing at women in the face and looking away. Never would a Maasai look at the breasts of a Maasai woman. He must look upwards or through them. He lowers the gaze from a distance as he looks over her. This erotic ritual does not belong to the public. The gaze is ritualized and guided by many taboos and what tradition demands. There will be no nudity out in the daylight. They are naked only in total darkness. Here in the darkness of the house is also the perfect place to forge our plan as we are about to steal the sheep.
They are saying once they get out from this house, they don't talk to anybody. They just go to pass the entrance, and then they go slowly, pretending that they are getting to the bushes. Then they steal. Then they rush back to the forest with the
Okay,
sheep.
perfect. That's how we do it.
Hola. Ba, you orang you.
Sumene bang ayo.
Ay meron mga dasmay, mengoru ira berang.
Yamaru ria maje heri ini gomu.
Hamananya na ayo.
There was a discussion in which we explained that we wanted to steal the sheep because we were hungry. But they also explained how they wanted to show me how Maasai warriors behave. So if we get caught stealing sheep, this has a consequence. We will be allowed to keep the sheep, but we are now under the condition that we must return 4 calves to this village later on. With that arrangement, we get to keep this sheep. We are even invited to a party with the villagers tonight, where there will be a traditional tooth extraction and circumcision. We've started the fire. We use the method of rubbing sticks together to ignite the flame. Then you blow onto it while kindling, and a fire starts. It's grown to a very nice barbecue fire. Since I had previously learned that the dung of elephants can be made into a healing tea, I was not at all surprised to find out the solid huts of the village are constructed completely from cow dung.
Ask me some questions.
It's okay.
Okay? Sie zeigen mir jetzt ihre Schulhefte. Ich habe sie gefragt, ob sie eine Schule haben, und haben sie ihre Hefte geholt, damit ich mal reingucken kann, was die so machen. Einfache Rechnungen, zum Beispiel 3 + 2 = 5. Und dann lernen sie Englisch. I talked with some children about school. And they said me that you, what do you teach them? Mathematics, English?
Die Regel ist, das kleine Kind darf keine Schrecken zeigen, es darf nicht schreien, es darf sich nicht bewegen.
The rules are these. The child must not show any emotion, and he cannot scream. If he can get through it without showing any signs of distress, then he will be a great warrior. It looks like we have a great warrior here.
Wieder darf keine Gefühlsregung zeigen.
Again, he must not show any emotion. That worked. This means he will become a great warrior. Milk is poured over his legs as part of the tradition, and nothing should go wrong. This time, it didn't work out so well.
And the more people understand what Maasai tradition is.
I have learned to jump a little better. Meanwhile, they are all together. The women and men, the children and the elderly, the villagers, the warriors, the pets, the cameramen, and my whole crew. Everybody's celebrating. They all belong to each other.
Also, unsere Freunde hier, wir haben da gerade einen
Timo describes witnessing the Maasai warriors putting forth a huge effort during their fire dance. It was explained to us that he who jumps the highest gets the most women. Having completed my training, I became a real Maasai warrior. They also gave me my warrior name. As a Maasai warrior, I am now called Shalamantira. From the Maasai, I learned not to divide people and animals into enemies or friends. I learned to live together with nature and other cultures in a playful way. This is my initiation. When I think back to the last month and the time I spent with the Maasai, two stories remain especially pronounced in my mind. When I asked what kind of gods or heroes they had, they didn't really have an answer. They also didn't know what a past was. They said they don't tell each other stories about heroes. When you are born, you get the name of your father. When he dies, you get a new name. At that point, one must say goodbye to their father mentally. If you want to set a date to do something in the future, it can be relatively complicated. They don't know exactly what tomorrow is. You can say that the sun sets and it rises again, then we will meet. But you cannot say we will meet the day after tomorrow or next week on Tuesday, because they don't think about the past or the future. It is the moment and what we experience together that is important, and not flooded with the thoughts of tomorrow or remembrance of yesterday. But every laugh is real, and every moment of grief is real. I am filled with the joy of simple life. I am still amazed that no Maasai ever answered my question about their gods or heroes. I learned to see, hear, smell, and sing with the Maasai. I sat for hours just listening to the sounds of nature and being silent. I love the silence of the Maasai. It is often said that there is no past and no future in Africa. Instead of history, there is nature, which is always the same, always eternal. While walking and drinking blood, And living in the rhythm of the celebration of life, I felt the infinite dimensions of the past that are simultaneously present in the Mara Maasai. And I hope with all my heart that my warrior brothers, the women, the children, and the old Maasai have a future as infinite as their past. We are standing out here in the Mara right now. A huge herd of elephants are standing there. The sun is setting. In all directions, you can see the horizon. You just feel freedom. This is very, very beautiful.